Before we proceed to our discussion, let us try to answer the following questions. Let us check if you still remember our lesson last time. Explain how non-price determinants affect demand shifts. Give at least one reason for the shift and write it in the table below. Businesses give us the products that we want. Without businesses, there are no manufactured materials available for consumption. They produce goods and provide services which are needed in everyday living. We have discussed that economic resources are the factors of production which turn input into useful products. The interaction of businesses and individuals in a society is crucial in the market and mixed economy. Thus, the behavior of business or producer is also a concern in economics. Supply is a fundamental economic concept that describes the total amount of a specific good or service that is available to consumers. Supply refers to the number of goods that producers are willing and able to sell at different prices. It is also referred to the relationship between the price of a good or service and the quantity or number of units all sellers in a market would choose to sell during a given period. Just like demand, the price has a great effect on the number of goods and services which producers are willing to produce. For sellers, price signals businesses to sell the products or not. It is an indicator if the business will gain profit or loss. If the price of a product rises, the number of units available for sale increases. The number that producers are willing and able to sell at a regular price during a particular period is called quantity supplied. The price and quantity supplied are positively related. This economic theory refers to the law of supply, which states that as the price goes up, ceteris paribus, the producers will offer more for sale, and if the price goes down, producers are reluctant to sell and will offer to sell less. The supply schedule shows the quantity of items sellers would offer for sale at different prices. Table 1 contains a hypothetical schedule of the supply for a sandwich in a local market during school days. The left column shows the various prices while on the right column shows the number of units that producers would choose to sell at a given price. As observed, as the price increases, the quantity supplied goes up. Supply curve is a graph showing the quantities of a product that would sell at various prices at a given time. The market supply curve for sandwiches is a graphical representation of a supply schedule for sandwiches. As shown in Figure 1, the price is scaled on the graph's vertical axis and quantity on the horizontal axis. Each point on the curve shows the number of sandwiches that sellers would choose to sell at a particular price. In situation A, at 10 pesos sellers would sell 20 sandwiches. Situation B represents the combination of 40 sandwiches at 15 pesos, while in situation C, sellers will sell 60 sandwiches at 20 pesos, and so on. When we connect all these points, we obtain the market curve, labeled as S. This represents as the supply curve. The market supply curve slopes upward towards the right. An upward slope reflects the observed positive relationship between price and quantity, law of supply. As the price increases, the quantity supplied increases, and vice versa. Since the assumption is that price is the only factor that affects the quantity supplied, for every price change, there is a movement along the supply curve. When the price of sandwiches rises from 20 pesos to 25 pesos, the number of units supplied by sellers rises also 60 to 80. There's a movement along the supply curve from point C to D. Supply can also be affected by other factors other than price. The non-price determinants of supply are the number of sellers, cost of production, prices of alternative goods produced, expectations of future prices, weather conditions, and technology. When these factors change, there is a shift of the entire supply curve. Figure 2 shows the shifts in the market supply curve that results from a change in one of the non-price factors. The rightward shift from S1 to S2 implies an increase in supply. Sellers would likely sell more sandwiches at every price. For example, they would choose to sell 80 instead of 60 sandwiches at 20 pesos. An increase in supply is an increase in the number of units that sellers would sell to at each and every price. The leftward shift from S1 to S3 represents a decrease in supply. Sellers would choose to sell fewer sandwiches at each and every price. For example, they would choose to buy 40 instead of 60 sandwiches at 20 pesos. A decrease in supply is a decrease in the number of units that consumers would sell at each and every price. An increase in the number of sellers will increase the supply of goods and services in the market. As new sandwich producers enter the market, the supply of sandwiches increases. As they leave the market, the supply of sandwiches decreases. Changes in input prices also change the supply of goods. An increase in the minimum wage of workers will increase the price of input, and some producers cannot afford to pay the increase in wages. Supply will decrease due to a decrease in the number of workers. Suppose producers can easily switch from sandwich to pizza, which considered as substitute goods. If the price of the pizza decreases, the producers of pizza receive less income per pizza sold. With this, they switch the production to sandwiches, which has a higher price compared to pizza, hence, the supply of sandwiches increases. If producers expect prices to increase in the future, they may increase their production now to gain profit when prices of that particular goods increases. If price is expected to decrease in the future, producers may reduce production. Favorable weather conditions increase the productivity of all firms. Weather condition also affects the number of supplies, let's say in Baguio, which is known for their strawberries. Because of the weather in Baguio, they can produce more strawberries. However, unfavorable weather and natural disasters disrupt the production of firms. Technology helps production easier and faster. If the producers employ technology in production, it could produce more products. For your activity, please read the directions. You may answer this after watching the video. To summarize what you have learned in the lesson, answer the following questions. 1. What is the supply? 2. What is the law of supply? 3. What are the causes of supply shifts? What business do you think is most profitable in this time of pandemic? Explain your answer. Let us check if you have learned something today. Please answer the post-test.